Have you ever noticed people subtly recoiling when you get close, or your grandchildren suddenly becoming reluctant to hug you? You might be part of a hidden epidemic affecting millions of seniors, one that no one wants to talk about. I'm Dr. Henry Thompson, a geriatric specialist with over 40 years of experience. And today I'm here to reveal a shocking truth that could transform your social life forever. Stay with me until the end, because I'll share my simple, doctor-approved method to eliminate age-related body odor for good. No more awkward moments, just the confidence to reconnect with the ones you love. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Last week, I had the pleasure of meeting an 88-year-old gentleman named Frank Wilson, a sprightly individual with a sharp wit and a twinkle in his eye. During our conversation, he turned to me with a wry smile and said, "Hey, Dr. Henry, I splash on the most expensive cologne money can buy, but my son still refuses to linger in my room for more than a minute." To emphasize his frustration, he shuffled over to the window and flung it open with a dramatic flourish, letting the cool breeze sweep through the room. I could see the disappointment etched on his face, and I knew I had to be straight with him. "Frank," I said gently, "to be perfectly honest, that fancy cologne isn't solving the issue. It's making it worse by layering a strong scent over the underlying problem. We need to tackle the root cause head-on. Think of it like spraying air freshener in a bathroom that hasn't been cleaned in weeks. It just doesn't cut it." This is a mistake I see far too often among older folks. When they catch a whiff of an unpleasant odor, their first instinct is to douse themselves in deodorant or drench their clothes in perfume, hoping to mask the issue. But that's not the solution. It's a temporary cover-up that backfires spectacularly. The combination of an elderly person's natural scent with a heavy floral or musky fragrance creates a jarring, almost unbearable mix that's far worse than the original smell. I've watched seniors grow more self-conscious and humiliated as their loved ones crack open windows or subtly edge away, desperate for fresh air. The only way to break this disheartening cycle is to pinpoint the true source of the odor and address it directly. So, what's behind that infamous old person smell? You might assume it's just a byproduct of age or poor hygiene, but there's real science at play here, and understanding it is the key to finding a solution. Let me walk you through the 3 major biological changes that happen as we age, because once you grasp these, you'll see why cologne alone won't do the trick. First, let's talk about perspiration. When we're young, our bodies are like well-oiled machines, sweating out about a quart of liquid every day to flush out toxins and keep our skin fresh. But after 60, that amount drops to less than half, sometimes even a third, of what it once was. You might think, less sweat, less smell, right? But it's the opposite. Sweat is nature's way of purging the body of impurities and waste. When you sweat less, those toxins linger on your skin, creating a breeding ground for bacteria and microorganisms that churn out unpleasant odors. I remember 71-year-old Nancy Clark asking me in a puzzled tone, "Dr. Henry, I barely sweat anymore. Why do I still smell?" I explained that the lack of sweat was precisely the issue. It was not flushing away the culprits. Then there's 73-year-old Robert Evans, who chuckled and said, "I used to stress in sweat buckets when I was younger. I thought it was a blessing when it stopped, but not." He's right. Less perspiration means more buildup on the skin, and that's where the trouble starts. The second change happens with sebum, the natural oil our skin produces to keep it supple. As we age, the chemical composition of sebum shifts in a way that's subtle but significant. After decades of research, over 30 years to be exact, I found that a compound called 2-nominal is the real culprit behind the distinct old person smell. This oxidized fatty acid starts creeping into sebum around age 50, ramps up through the decades, and peaks around 70. It's virtually absent in younger people, but in older adults, it gives off a potent, greasy scent that's hard to ignore. That's not a hygiene failure. It's chemistry at work. Third, there's a shift in the mouth's environment that compounds the problem. After 60, saliva production plummets by more than 50%, and that's a bigger deal than most realize. Saliva isn't just for digestion. It's a natural cleanser that balances the mouth's pH and washes away odor-causing bacteria. When your mouth dries out, bacteria flourish, leading to bad breath that no amount of mints can fully mask. I'll never forget 69-year-old Linda Harris confiding in me, her voice tinged with embarrassment. When I talk, I can smell it myself, and my mouth feels like a desert. I've started avoiding my grandchildren because I'm so self-conscious. That dry mouth, driven by reduced saliva, is a silent contributor to the overall odor issue. So, even if you're showering daily, spritzing on perfume, and gargling mouthwash, the smell persists, because these three changes are working against you. But here's the good news: there's a way to tackle this head-on, and it's simpler than you might think. You've just been missing the critical pieces of the puzzle. If you're finding this breakdown helpful so far, please drop a quick comment below with the number 1 to let me know you're still with me. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already, I'd encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Your support keeps me motivated to deliver detailed, actionable insights like this to inform and empower you. Now, let's keep going, because if you tune out here, you'll likely waste time and money on quick fixes that don't work. Stick with me, and I'll share a method that's proven effective, with noticeable results in as little as a week. We're about to dive into the essentials of banishing that old person smell for good. Straightforward, practical steps that deliver if you follow through to the end. Commit to this for just 1 month, and you'll see a shift in how your family perceives you. No more open windows or awkward excuses. Patients ask me all the time, "Dr. Henry, can you get rid of that old person's smell?" My answer is always the same: yes, absolutely, but only if you do it the right way, with strategies no one's likely shown you before. Take 75-year-old James Parker, for example. When he first shuffled into my clinic, he couldn't meet my eyes. "My grandkids won't even step into my room," he muttered. "My son's always airing out the house." But after 6 months of following my guidance, he came back beaming. "Now my grandkids climb onto my lap again," he said, his voice brimming with pride. That kind of transformation is within your reach, too, if you're ready to take the next step. Allow me to share with you a remarkable revelation that requires no expensive medications, specialized equipment, or visits to pharmacies or medical facilities. This method, substantiated by over 5 decades of rigorous medical research, is something you can begin implementing in the comfort of your own home starting today. In my practice, an impressive 97% of my patients have observed noticeable, tangible improvements by adhering to this approach. Let's dive into the details of this simple yet highly effective strategy. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The cornerstone of this method, its first guiding principle, is to ensure you're drinking an ample amount of warm water throughout the day. Yes, plain water is the star here. You might wonder, what exactly does water do for me? The answer lies in its fundamental role in supporting your body's natural detoxification processes. Water is critical because it aids your urinary system in flushing out harmful toxins, impurities, and metabolic waste that can accumulate over time. By staying well hydrated, you're giving your body a powerful tool to cleanse itself from the inside out. One specific benefit I've observed is that consistently drinking warm water can significantly reduce the characteristic old age odor that some people experience as they get older. Take, for example, the experience of 72-year-old Margaret Adams, one of my patients. She shared, "When I first started drinking a glass of warm water every morning, it felt strange and took some effort to make it a habit. But after about a month, I adjusted, and now if I skip it, I genuinely miss it. My grandchildren have even commented that I smell pleasant, and I've noticed my skin looks healthier and more radiant." I recommend aiming for 6 glasses of warm water daily as a practical target. If forming this habit feels daunting, break it down into a manageable routine. 1 glass upon waking, 1 before lunch, 1 after lunch, 1 in the mid-afternoon, 1 before dinner, and 1 before bedtime. By setting consistent times, it becomes an effortless part of your day, like brushing your teeth. A key point to understand is that not all beverages count toward this hydration goal. Tea and coffee, for instance, don't qualify as proper substitutes for water. Coffee has a diuretic effect, meaning it can dehydrate you rather than replenish your fluids. So, if you enjoy your daily cup of coffee, make sure to compensate by drinking additional water to offset its dehydrating impact. The second principle of this approach involves incorporating short, gentle walks in sunlight into your routine. I often hear from patients, "I'm getting older, and exercise feels overwhelming or painful." Rest assured, I'm not suggesting strenuous workouts or marathon training. Even a modest 20-minute stroll in the sun can yield remarkable benefits. Sunlight acts as a natural disinfectant, helping to kill off harmful bacteria on your skin that can contribute to odor and other issues. Meanwhile, a leisurely walk encourages light perspiration, which allows your body to expel toxins through your sweat glands, a gentle yet effective detox process. To make this practice safe and comfortable, time your walks wisely. Avoid the intense midday sun by stepping outside before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m., when the temperature is milder and the UV rays are less harsh. Fred Taylor, another patient of mine, shared his journey. "At first, my legs ached just thinking about walking. The doctor suggested starting with just 10 minutes a day, but even that felt impossible. Now, I manage it, slowly, of course. I huff and puff a little, but that's enough to feel the difference." His experience underscores that you don't need to push yourself too hard. Consistency matters more than intensity. The third pillar of this method is committing to a daily warm shower. I often hear objections like, "Winter is too cold for daily showers," or "It's such a hassle." However, regular bathing is non-negotiable for maintaining hygiene and minimizing odor. A warm shower washes away bacteria, dirt, and pollutants that accumulate on your skin throughout the day, preventing them from festering and contributing to unpleasant smells. Here's an important tip. Avoid using excessively hot water. Water that's too hot can strip away your skin's natural protective oils, leaving it dry, irritated, and paradoxically more prone to odor. Instead, aim for a warm temperature, ideally around 100 degrees Fahrenheit 38 degrees Celsius. If you can, treat yourself to a 20-minute soak in a 100 degrees Fahrenheit bath once a week. This longer soak allows warm water to penetrate deeper into your pores, dislodging embedded dirt and impurities. Many of my patients report that after this ritual, their skin feels noticeably softer, smoother, and fresher, with a marked reduction in body odor. Now, here's the critical detail that ties it all together. When you shower, pay special attention to cleaning 3 often overlooked areas that are responsible for up to 90% of age-related odor. These are the skin folds and crevices where sweat and bacteria tend to accumulate. Places like the neck, especially behind the ears, armpits, under the breasts, the navel, the groin, behind the knees, and the inner elbows. Seniors, in particular, may unintentionally skip or only lightly clean these spots due to reduced flexibility or awareness. Yet, these are precisely the areas where odor-causing bacteria thrive unnoticed. Margaret noted, "I never realized how much sweat hid in those folds until I started scrubbing them properly. It's made a world of difference." By faithfully following these 3 guidelines, drinking plenty of warm water, taking short walks in the sun, and showering daily with a focus on those key areas, you can dramatically reduce the so-called old age scent and feel fresher overall. This isn't about fancy products or complex routines. It's about leveraging simple, accessible habits backed by decades of medical insight. Start today, and you might be surprised by how quickly you notice the "It's truly remarkable, Dr. Henry," exclaimed Susan Brooks, a vibrant 66-year-old grandmother. "For decades, I've been stepping into the shower, letting the water cascade over me, but I never thought to clean my chest and armpits with the technique you recommended. Since I started following your advice, the transformation has been astounding. My grandchildren now wrap their arms around me without hesitation, and that persistent, unpleasant odor has faded away dramatically." Indeed, targeting those often overlooked areas can work wonders. The key is to focus on the skin folds, places where sweat and bacteria tend to accumulate. When you're in the shower, take a moment to gently scrub these spots using a loofah or a soft, damp towel. Be mindful not to scrub too hard, though. Overzealous rubbing can irritate or even damage the skin, leaving it vulnerable and counterproductive to your efforts. Next, let's turn our attention to a trio of critical areas: the scalp, chest, and armpits. These zones are particularly prone to trapping sweat and sebum, especially where hair is involved. The scalp, for instance, is frequently neglected beyond a quick shampoo, yet it's a hot spot for odor buildup. I couldn't believe the difference it made when Dr. Henry suggested I massage my scalp thoroughly while washing my hair, shared Tom Harris, a 62-year-old retiree with a newfound spring in his step. The head odor that used to linger? It's practically gone. Now, My grandchildren even give me affectionate head pats without wrinkling their noses. For men with chest or belly hair, the same principle applies. Hair acts like a net, holding onto sweat and oils. To tackle this, work up a generous lather with a mild soap or body wash, massaging it into the hair and skin beneath. Rinse thoroughly to wash away every trace of residue, then pat the area completely dry with a clean towel to prevent moisture from fueling bacterial growth. The third area to prioritize includes those high sweat zones: the palms, the spaces between your toes, and the feet themselves. These regions are packed with sweat glands, making them prime candidates for odor if left unchecked. Feet, in particular, can become a haven for bacteria, especially when they're encased in shoes for hours on end. "Man, my feet used to stink something awful," admitted John Miller, a 68-year-old who's seen the light. "But after I started washing between my toes, drying them carefully, and slipping on fresh socks, the smell just vanished. My daughter-in-law doesn't scrunch up her face anymore when she walks into my room." To keep this under control, opt for breathable cotton socks and swap them out daily, ideally after a thorough foot wash that includes scrubbing between each toe. Another tip: rotate your shoes, giving each pair at least a day to air out and dry completely. Then there's the back, a tricky spot to reach for many. Sweat here can seep into clothing and fester, so use a long-handled brush or cloth to scrub gently but effectively. Stick to warm water rather than scalding hot for these areas. Hot water can strip away the skin's natural protective oils, ironically making odor worse over time. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. When choosing your soap, steer clear of heavily perfumed options that might mask rather than solve the problem. Instead, go for a gentle, fragrance-free cleanser. I was skeptical at first. Could something so simple cut down on body odor? Reflected Mary Johnson, a 71-year-old who decided to give it a shot. But I tried it, and it worked like magic. Now my grandson happily climbs onto my lap to watch TV without a hint of discomfort. Post-shower care is just as vital. Moisturizing is a must, especially in the dry, cold months of winter when skin can flake and contribute to subtle smells. For an extra boost, consider a weekly ritual: a 20-minute soak in a bath set to a comfortable 100 degrees Fahrenheit. This helps dislodge deep-seated dirt and debris from your pores. Afterward, dry off thoroughly and seal in hydration with a light, unscented lotion for optimal results. Here's the bottom line: if you don't act now, that lingering odor will continue to push people away, your loved ones included, and chip away at your confidence and joy. But the good news? Start focusing on these 3 key areas today, and within a week, you'll notice a shift in how your family reacts to you. No more awkward moments, no more quiet embarrassment, just the relief of feeling fresh and self-assured. Once you've got this routine down, we can dive deeper into the next layer: how diet and lifestyle play into body odor. Patients often ask, "Dr. Henry, what else can I do beyond washing?" The answer is a resounding yes. Food is a major player in this equation, directly influencing how you smell. Please drop the number 2 in the comments below to let me know you're still with me and find these tips helpful. And if you haven't already, I urge you to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop with our latest updates. Your support keeps this channel thriving, fueling our mission to deliver practical, life-changing advice. Let's keep moving forward together. Take Betty Carter, a 60-year-old garlic enthusiast, who wondered, "I've eaten garlic my whole life. Could that be what's causing my scent?" Here's the truth. Pungent foods like garlic or spices might give your breath or sweat a temporary kick, but over time, their antioxidants can counteract the musty smells tied to aging. Step 1. Boost your antioxidant intake. It sounds technical, but it's simple. Antioxidants slow the aging process, which is a big driver of body odor. They fight oxidation, the chemical reaction that churns out unpleasant smells as we get older. Load up on foods like tomatoes, apples, strawberries, buckwheat, and brown rice. They're packed with compounds that help neutralize internal aging and its odorous side effects. "Dr. Henry told me to eat a tomato and an apple every day," said Paul King, a spry 79-year-old. 2 months later, my granddaughter hugged me and said, "Grandpa, it's like magic. You don't smell bad anymore." Even garlic, despite its bold initial whiff, contains allicin, a compound that battles bacteria and oxidants once digested. A clove or two daily could quietly improve both your health and your scent. Step 2. Prioritize water-rich foods like tomatoes, pears, and watermelon. These natural hydrators help flush toxins out through urine, reducing the buildup that contributes to odor. I started eating half a cucumber and a tomato every day for my health, shared Nancy Miller, 68. After 3 months, friends noticed I didn't have that old person smell anymore. If chewing veggies feels like a chore, blend them into a daily smoothie. It's an easy, effective way to combat aging odors from the inside out. Chewing sugar-free gum increases salivation, which aids in odor removal. In addition to preventing cavities, chewing xylitol gum for 10 minutes after eating may help lessen mouth odor. Fourth, cut down on alcohol and caffeine. Alcohol, tea, and coffee dry you, which makes odors worse. The liver converts alcohol to acetaldehyde, which is expelled via perspiration and has a distinct smell. The cause was that I used to drink a bottle of whiskey every day, claimed George Carter, 71. After a month, I switched to barley tea, and the smells subsided. For coffee drinkers, limit their daily intake to 1 or 2 cups and substitute barley tea or water. Reduce or abstain from alcohol. Fifth, eat enough fiber. Because waste retention allows toxins to re-enter the circulation and leave via the skin, constipation intensifies body odor. This is avoided, and gut health is maintained by eating foods high in fiber such as brown rice, whole grains, and fruit. Your digestive system benefits from eating brown rice or oats first thing in the morning. I've had constipation all of my life, according to 77-year-old Margaret Evans. My body odor also lessened once I began eating brown rice and soup for the morning. Chewing sugar-free gum can significantly enhance saliva production, which plays a vital role in washing away bacteria and food particles that contribute to unpleasant mouth odors. Beyond its well-known benefit of cavity prevention, chewing gum sweetened with xylitol for approximately 10 minutes after meals may provide an additional advantage by reducing oral malodor. This simple habit leverages the natural cleansing properties of saliva to keep your breath fresher for longer periods. Another key step in managing body odor is to reduce your consumption of alcohol and caffeine. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Beverages like alcohol, tea, and coffee have a dehydrating effect on the body, which can exacerbate odors by concentrating the compounds responsible for them. When you consume alcohol, your liver metabolizes it into acetaldehyde, a pungent compound that is eventually expelled through sweat, lending a distinctive and often unpleasant smell to your perspiration. George Carter, a 71-year-old retiree, shared his experience. The root of my odor problem was drinking a bottle of whiskey every day. After switching to barley tea for a month, I noticed the smells gradually faded away. For those who enjoy coffee, limiting intake to 1 or 2 cups daily and supplementing with hydrating alternatives like barley tea or plain water can make a noticeable difference. Cutting back on alcohol, or abstaining entirely, further supports this effort by minimizing the production of odor-causing byproducts. Incorporating sufficient dietary fiber is equally essential for controlling body odor, particularly as it relates to digestive health. Constipation allows waste to linger in the intestines, enabling toxins to be reabsorbed into the bloodstream and subsequently released through the skin, intensifying body odor. To counteract this, prioritize fiber-rich foods such as brown rice, whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, which promote regular bowel movements and maintain a healthy gut. Starting your day with a bowl of brown rice or oats can set a positive tone for your digestive system. Margaret Evans, a 77-year-old who struggled with lifelong constipation, attested to this approach. Once I began eating brown rice and soup for breakfast, not only did my digestion improve, but my body odor lessened significantly as well. Failing to adopt these habits now could lead you to waste money on costly, ineffective solutions down the road. By making small, intentional adjustments to your oral hygiene and overall lifestyle, you can achieve substantial improvements in odor control. These practices don't just mask smells, they enhance your general health and vitality, which become increasingly important as you age. The time to start is now before we move on to the equally critical topic of maintaining your clothing and personal items. So stay tuned for those insights. Wearing clean, fresh clothing is a cornerstone of minimizing the so-called old age smell. Dirty bedding or garments can undermine even the most diligent personal hygiene efforts. Sweat, sebum, and dead skin cells accumulate on worn clothing, fostering bacterial growth that thrives in warm, humid conditions, especially during hotter months. To combat this, commit to changing your clothes and underwear daily, a habit that requires heightened attention to detail. Robert Harris, a 72-year-old, reflected on his past habits. I used to wear the same clothes for 3 or 4 days before washing them. My doctor recommended daily changes, and it's made a world of difference. This consistent swapping out of garments prevents odors from taking hold. When selecting clothing, opt for natural fabrics like cotton, which wicks moisture away from the skin more effectively than synthetic materials. Synthetics tend to trap sweat, creating a breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. Whenever possible, launder your clothes and bedding and dry them in direct sunlight, as UV rays naturally disinfect by killing off germs. If rain prevents outdoor drying, ensure everything is thoroughly dry before wearing or storing it to avoid mustiness. Bedding demands similar care. Since you spend roughly 8 hours a night in bed, it becomes a repository for sweat, oils, and skin flakes that fuel bacterial growth and subsequent smells. Aim to wash your sheets and pillowcases weekly, with pillowcases warranting even more frequent changes due to their exposure to head oils and dandruff. Linda Parker, 75, shared her journey. I used to wash sheets monthly, but switching to a weekly routine has transformed my bedroom. It was a hassle at first, but now it's second nature, and everything smells fresh. Every few years, consider replacing pillows and blankets, as they harbor dust mites and bacteria over time, contributing to persistent odors. Footwear and socks also play a pivotal role in your overall scent profile, as foot odor can subtly permeate your presence. Change your socks daily, favoring breathable cotton over synthetic blends, and avoid wearing the same pair of shoes consecutively. Rotate them to allow drying time between uses. For an extra boost, sprinkle baking soda inside your shoes to absorb lingering smells. Paul King, 69, recounted his experience. I stuck to the same shoes for years. After my doctor suggested rotating them and changing socks daily, the foot odor dropped off, and my grandson doesn't avoid my room anymore. Ventilation is another often overlooked factor in odor management. Stagnant indoor air traps smell, so open your windows for at least 10 minutes each morning and evening to circulate fresh air. Kitchens and bathrooms, notorious for harboring moisture and odors, require particular attention to airflow. Placing an open container of baking soda in these spaces can help neutralize and absorb unwanted scents. Fred Taylor, 71, admitted, I hated the cold and rarely opened windows. It was annoying at first, but now that I do it twice daily, the air feels lighter, and my daughter-in-law doesn't feel the need to step in. Ultimately, the smell of aging stems from a combination of factors: oxidized sebum, reduced saliva leading to dry mouth, poor dietary choices, inconsistent hygiene, inadequate hydration, neglected clothing and bedding, and a shift in perspiration patterns that retain debris. To tackle these root causes, aim to drink at least 6 cups of warm water daily, take a 20-minute walk in gentle sunlight, thoroughly clean key areas of your body, consume antioxidant-rich foods like fruits, vegetables, and garlic, maintain rigorous oral hygiene with regular brushing and tongue scraping, and diligently wash your clothes and bedding. This straightforward regimen requires only modest, consistent adjustments and costs next to nothing. No complex procedures or expensive gadgets needed. Beyond merely eliminating odors, these changes bolster self-esteem and overall well-being. They foster stronger social connections, boost confidence, and deepen family bonds by removing barriers that unpleasant smells can create. Margaret Adams, 62, beamed with gratitude. After 6 months of following my doctor's advice, my grandchild is back on my lap for TV time, hugging and kissing me again. Thank you, Dr. Henry, for restoring this joy. You too can reclaim that happiness. Don't let off-putting odors distance you from loved ones, especially your grandkids, when such simple, effective solutions are within reach. That wraps up our in-depth journey on conquering old age odor and reclaiming your self-esteem. I hope these insights have opened your eyes to simple, effective ways to feel confident and connected again. So, what have you learned so far? I'd love to hear from you. Please comment below this video with one thing you've discovered and plan to bring into your daily life. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more life-changing advice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.